A very good evening to everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's expert webinar titled Load Balancing and Autoscaling in AWS. I am Ria from SpringPeople. We are India's largest enterprise training provider, and I will be your moderator for today's session. In today's session, we have Mr. Parul Kundra with us, a prominent figure in the world of cloud computing and AWS. With an illustrious career spanning over 15 years, he boasts a remarkable list of qualifications and accomplishments. Mr. Kundra's skill set extends to SQL and PL, SQL, demonstrating his prowess in database management. He is also a proficient problem solver using Python, C, and C++, and has a solid grasp of data structures, showcasing his versatility in the world of programming and technology. Having conducted over 100 AWS corporate and training sessions, Mr. Kundra specializes in preparing individuals for certifications such as Solution Architect, Advanced Architect, Cloud Practitioner, and System Operations Associate. His training methods are renowned for their effectiveness. Mr. Parul Kundra will let us know about what is load balancing, creating application load balancer, autoscaling and its types, understanding autoscaling practically. To all the participants, you can mention your questions in the chat box, and it will be answered at the end of the session. Without further ado, let's start today's session. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Parul Kundra to start the session. Over to you, Parul.
Thank you so much, Reha. Am I audible? Could you please confirm this, Reha?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you, sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's session. And we are going to talk on, as Reha already talked on the topic, that we are going to discuss what is load balancing and what is auto scaling. So this is what we are going to discuss in today's webinar. This session, as it's going to be my fourth or fifth webinar, and you might be knowing it very well if you have joined my previous webinar, that all these things, whatever we are going to cover practically, and we'll see the things practically as much as we can during this course. Now, what is today's agenda? The agenda is we are talking on what is load balancing. We'll be talking on application load balancer. We'll also be talking of different type of load balancers we have, what are difference between them. We'll be talking. We also talk on auto scaling today, and we'll understand practically how to do auto scaling. Fine. So this is what the agenda of today's discussion is. So before I start anything, I would like to say one thing, that there are some prerequisites which we are going to use, because if we are going to understand load balancing or auto scaling, so we should have prerequisite is that we must have a knowledge of servers, VPCs, and security groups and all. So I already took these webinars before. So in the same sense, I'm moving ahead with the further topics of load balancing and application load balancing. So the prerequisite is that we should have an understanding of virtual private cloud, that is what is VPC, and how to create EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud, that is servers. Now we are going to talk on load balancing, how to do that. So we have some theory. And I don't love to read this content, but okay, no worries. So what is load balancer? As the name says, load balancer, the one which balance the load among different services, different computes or lambdas or anything. Fine. Now, if I give you in a layman term example, for a single application, there are multiple servers running. So let's say there is one application called SpringPeople.com. And if you are going for SpringPeople.com, SpringPeople.com or Facebook.com or anything, so there might be multiple servers which are running behind. Now, as a client, when you hit springpeople.com, your requests are received by these servers. And all these servers are representing SpringPeople or Facebook or something. Now, are these requests evenly distributed? It might be a case that this server may have high number of requests while other server may not have that much requests. This means if you think in a sensible manner, this server is overburdened, while these servers are not burdened, they are not working according to their capacity. And the one server which I'm talking about is working above its capacity. So there might be a chances of failure and all. So we don't want this. So now we wanted to refrain client to directly send their request to the servers. So what happened? A service came in between which said to client that, hey, from today onwards, now you are not going to send your request directly to the servers. No matter here, whatever you are typing www.facebook.com or whatever, .com, no matter. First of all, between client and server, there will be a SPOC. There will be a SPOC, single point of contact, which will act as elastic load balancer, which will take the request and then who will be responsible for distributing this request equally among all the servers so that none of the single server is overburdened. In a nutshell, I'm trying to explain you is none of the single server is overburdened. Now, if it is taking a responsibility that all the requests which are coming from the client and which is given to servers for processing those requests, so load balancer is acting as a middle point and it is taking request and distributing a load among the servers. Now, obviously, if it is distributing a load among our servers, might be using some algorithms to do that. One of the very famous algorithm, if you know, that's very good. If you don't know, then that is one is round robin. So round robin algorithm is an algorithm which is generally used for distributing a load among the servers. So how how round robin works? As the name says, round robin. So let's say 5 people are standing in a circle. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth request, then first, second, third, fourth, fifth, third, first, second, third, fourth, like this. So first request, second request, third request, fourth request. When the fifth request comes from the client, it will go to this 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, like this. This is called round robin algorithm. Is there only round robin algorithm? No, there are different algorithms which are used to balance the load among the servers. Fine, there might be a least outstanding request, least outstanding request, least outstanding. This is outstanding, OUTSTANDING, outstanding request algorithm. Fine. What is least outstanding request algorithm? Because round robin, when it is distributing a load, it is just distributing a load. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It might be possible this server may have the request, the size of those requests may not be equal. This server may have, let's say, 9 pending requests to solve. But round robin does not watch it. It simply tries to give the request or assign the request to the servers in a simple pattern. So we use another algorithm called least outstanding request, which will see that which server has least outstanding request to be processed, and the new requests which come will go to the least outstanding servers. Like this, we have waited, and like many algorithms which we have. So this is what load balancing is. So in a nutshell, I have tried my level best to explain you what is load balancing. Now you see this picture. As I told you, the prerequisite is that you should have an understanding of VPC and all. Fine. Now here, what is there in AWS cloud? In one VPC, let's say this VPC is in Mumbai. I created virtual private cloud in Mumbai. I've created 2 subnets, subnet 1 and subnet 2. And in 2 subnet, let's say there are 4 servers, EC21, EC22, EC23, and EC24. Now what I did, I created a load balancer. And these 4 servers are of Facebook server. So as a client, when you type on your browser www.facebook.com, this request will be first handled by SPOC, single point of contact. It will then distribute the request among the servers. And for different availability zone is the reason for having a high availability. If our infra is only in one availability zone, so we'll not be getting a high availability. So we always look for high availability. That's why the deployment is here in different availability zones. So you can see that your servers are distributed among different availability zones. Now, this subnet 1, subnet 2 could be a private subnet, could be a public subnet. Fine. So you can keep your server wherever you want. You can put it in your public subnet. You can put it in your private subnet. But this load balancer should be in a public subnet if it is requesting a request from internet. See, if it is accepting a request from internet and you load balancer, you kept it in a private subnet. So how it will be able to take a request? It will not be able to take a request. So overall, the judgment is no matter where you want to keep your server, you want to keep your server in public subnet, you are allowed. You wanted to secure your server, you are allowed to put your server in private subnet. Perfectly fine. But who is taking a request from the public? From the public, when you type www.facebook.com from an internet, when you type, so this request is going to be taken by or received by load balancer. Now, when this load balancer is taking a request, it should be in a public subnet. Fine. This is what you have to keep in mind. Now, coming back is a simple diagram, which is showing you that what are load balancers, how things are there, what is target group and all. So let's have a quick discussion on it and let's implement it. So just see the figure and I'm going to show you how we are going to talk on it. So, okay, just give me 1 minute. Let me delete this. Just allow me 1 minute. I'm going to explain you the things first practically, and then you are going to understand the things fine. Now see this. Now, first of all, you have Facebook application. So for Facebook application, what you will do, you will have some servers. So first of a step, you will be to create target group. So first step for you will be to create target group. So this target group will take servers. In this target group will keep servers where we wanted to distribute the traffic. So let's say this target group has 3 servers. In these 3 servers, I wanted to distribute the traffic. So first of all, I'll create a target group. So target group is nothing but a collection of servers or a collection of target. Now, after that, you will create one load balancer. Load balancer. So this load balancer will have a process called listener, LISTNER, and on the basis of rules you define, your request will be assigned to a target group. Now here you have a client, CLIENT client, which is you all. So when you send a request, so listener will handle the request. Now listener will send this request to a particular target group, and this request will be distributed among these servers like this. Now, hey, Mr. Kundra or Dr. Kundra, will there be only one target group? No. There can be a multiple target group, depends on your application. I'm not getting, Parul, what you are trying to explain. So I'm here to explain you everything. First, try to understand. See, what is the thing called? Whenever you do shopping from Amazon.com, what happened? Amazon.com. So when you do shopping from Amazon.com, so there are different categories in Amazon.com. One category is fashion. One category is electronics. One category is, let's say, toys. One category is, so there are multiple categories. So whenever you are looking for Amazon.com, so if you are doing path-based routing, let's say you're looking for Amazon.com/fashion. So your request will be sent to a target group, which is having the servers handling the request for fashion. So like this, your listener, as a client, you will say, I'm looking for www.amazon.com, and in Amazon.com, I'm looking for fashion. So I'm looking for /fashion. So if you are looking for fashion, so there will be a multiple target group. So let's say this target group is serving for fashion. This target group is serving for toys. So if you are looking for, so there will be some servers here. So if you are looking for fashion, your request will be sent here. If you are looking for toys, your request will be sent to this target group, new target group. So according to the rule you defined here, so your request will be routed accordingly. So if looking for fashion, toys, whatever, it will be handled accordingly. So now so much theory, let's understand the things practically. So what I did, let me show you what I did. So let me go here. Fine. So I already have servers. So let me show you my servers in Mumbai. So let me refresh this. So I wanted to show you something. You can see I have 2 servers in Mumbai, one demo server 1 and demo server 2, which is there in Mumbai. Now, if I see this server, let me just remove this. So this server, demo server 1, is in AP South 1A of Mumbai, and demo server 2 is in AP South 1B. So one server is in 1A and 1B. If I copy the public IP of this server, And if I paste the public IP of this server over here, so what happened? This server is created with a web page called this is a demo server in 1A availability zone. Now, if I go to another server, let me go to this server and let me copy the IP of demo server 2. So which is 247. So let me copy the IP of demo server 2. Here we have a web page. This is demo server in availability zone 1B of Mumbai. So one server is in 1A, one server is in 1B. Now, if I keep on burdening this server, what am I doing? I'm burdening the load. So what I did in front of you, everybody, I wanted to show you this, what I did. So just give me 1 minute. So what I did, epic, epic pen. Just give me 1 minute. So what I did actually, so overall, I have created one server. I have created another server. This is demo server 1. This is demo server 2. Having this IPs and this IP. So these are some IPs. So what I did, I created two servers. One is in 1A availability zone, one is in 1B. Now what I'll be doing, I'll be introducing load balancer. Here I'm directly hitting a server. I should not do this. With the IP, I'm directly as a client, if you all hit this server, if you please type in your browser 3.110.821.35, please try everybody. You will be able to hit this server, and everybody try this server 3.109.2.247 and make it sure it is not HTTPS, it is HTTP only. Fine. If you try this, you will be able to hit this servers. But I don't want this. I don't want my client to hit my server directly. I want their request should go to a load balancer. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you that after this, your request will be going via load balancer, and then load balancer will be distributing your request to the servers. So let's do that, no? And then we'll understand. Let's do that. So what am I going to do? Here I have two servers. So here I have two servers in Mumbai, demo server 1 and 2, and I wanted to keep them in behind the load balancer. So first of all, I'll create a target group. So I'm clicking on target group. I'll simply click on create target group. At this target group, I'm creating for what? EC2 instance, or for IP address, or for Lambda function, or I'm addressing any application load balancer with other load balancer. So these are different things. Forget about it. I am just talking about that I wanted to balance the load for my servers instances. Okay, fine. Now the protocol, I said I wanted to access via port 80, so HTTP port 80. Now what is your IP address type? It is IPv4 or IPv6. So it's my IPv4 address, IP version 4, I'm going with it. In which VPC your servers are lying. So please make sure that where your servers are lying. So go back and check where your servers are lying. So just go back and check the VPC as well. So let me go to the instances and make sure that where your servers are lying. So let me hit one server, check one server. Let me see in which VPC my server is lying. So just give me 1 minute. Yeah, you can say it's 25A VPC my server is lying. So now I'm going to create a target group. So how to create a target group? Let's finish this as soon as possible. So I'm going to click on create target group. I'm creating a target group for instances for protocol HTTP port 80, or if it is a secure website, then HTTPS, but we have not created any certificate. I'm going with HTTP, which VPC? So 25A, because my servers are in 25A VPC, I'm going to choose that option only. Then I have already created a web page now, so it is going to hit my root page only. So I'm not giving any health check path. So I already have a path. So I'm going to hit my server on my root account, folder only. Let me click on next. So target group name. So target group name is, let's say, SpringPeople, SPRING, SpringPeople, PEOPLE target group. This is I'm creating. So let me give the name. And let me click on next. So it's saying that Parul, you have two servers, demo server 1 and demo server 2 in a VPC you are talking about. I say, let me select both of the server. These servers I'm going to distribute a load, and let me include them. So I included them as my target. So you can see in my targets, these servers are there. Fine. Now these servers have one security group called Sapient Security Group. I'll be checking that what is the meaning of this Sapient Security Group. Why I have given this name. So I might be teaching some Sapient batches. So I've given. So let me click on create target group. So I created a target group. Now overall, I have created a target group. So my target group is created. I wanted to show you now these two servers which I have created are unused. I'm not using them. And if I wanted to show you the attribute, you see which algorithm by default it is using. So you can see round robin algorithm it is using. If you want, you can change it. You can click on edit, you can change it. Okay, overall, this thing is clear. So first of all, I've created a target group. Okay, now when my target group is created, now Parul, I have to use this target group for my load balancer. So now coming back to load balancer types. So if I go back to my load balancer type, just give me 1 minute. Yeah, let me go back and let's understand what is load balancer. So okay, so load balancer is a one which has a process called listener, and according to the request, it will send the request to the particular target group. So overall target group is created, but we are going to talk on load balancer. So when I talk of load balancer in AWS, my dear friend, we have four load balancer. So we have application load balancer, that is agenda today, application load balancer. We have network load balancer. We have gateway load balancer, and we have classic load balancer. See, classic load balancer has so many, it's a previous generation load balancer. Now, Parul, if it is previous generation, then why AWS is using? Because still some organization are still using this load balancers. That's why AWS has not discontinued it, but very soon this load balancer is going to be discontinued, because AWS has created a separate load balancer for all other purposes. Application load balancer is working for HTTP and HTTPS traffics. No, so whatever the traffic which is for HTTP and HTTPS or layer number 7, OSI layer 7, application layer, so it's for that traffic. We do have a network load balancer which work for TCP, UDP, TLS, transport layer security traffic. Fine, this work for layer number 4, that is transport layer. We do have some third-party virtual appliances where I wanted to inspect my traffic before I allow it to my VPC. Now you must be thinking, Parul, what is third-party virtual appliance? This is the new fancy term you are introducing, third-party virtual appliance. Now see, there are market leaders, like AWS is a market leader in cloud. For security, we have a market leader. So we have a market leader, a firewall creator, Palo Alto. You might have heard of it. They are market leader. So organization have a trust on Palo Alto. They have trust on various other firewalls. Now they wanted their traffic to be deeply inspected by those firewalls. They have a trust on. So what exactly gateway load balancer does? It works for third-party virtual appliances. It checks your traffic up, called deep packet inspections. So these are assembled with AWS, and then your traffic is checked and it is handled by your VPC. Your traffic is first checked. Do you allow anybody to come to your home without checking him? No. Do anybody enters airport without checking him? No. Like this, the classic load balancer work for all, layer number 3, layer number 4 and 7. So gateway load balancer work for network layer and layer number 3. So this is a broad discussion, just a small discussion. We cannot include a broader sense because that is going to be take a much time and will not be able to complete the topic. So overall, what we did, we have created a target group. And in target group, 2 servers are there. Now I'm going to create load balancer. So when I'm going to create a load balancer, now before showing you a target group, let me show you my instance security group. See everybody, my demo server is this. Yes, let me go to demo server security group. What I have allowed in my security group. So you please see in my security group, I have opened 2 port number 80 and port number 22 from anywhere. Because of this, I have told every one of you to kindly hit this server. If you are able to hit this server, this means that you are hitting this server from anywhere. I would request everybody to kindly put it in the chat box that are you able to hit this server? I wanted to check that. Are you able to hit this server? Please type yes or no. 3.110.81 or something. Are you able to hit that? Is it? I just wanted to check. If you can type yes, no, if you are there with me, it will help me to understand that are you able to hit this server? I can't see anything in the chat box. So if you are able to hit this server, please type yes, because that will help me to understand. No worries, fine. I would request you. So overall, what I did. So we have understood that, okay, so we have these load balancers. Now, what I did for this servers, I have created a security group, and in that security group, you have a port 80 open. Because of that, you are able to hit this server. Now I'm going to use this server for my load balancer. So what am I going to do in a load balancing section? I'm going to create load balancer. Now, whenever I'm going to create a load balancer, I have 4 options, which I told you. Application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway load balancer. So please read this. Application load balancer work for HTTP and HTTPS traffics, my dear friends. And network load balancer work for TCP, UDP, TLS traffics. Fine. They are very fast, very fast. Fine. Now there are some limitation of network load balancer, that it cannot do path-based routing or host-based routing. If you know path-based routing, that's good. If you don't know that, what is path-based routing? So let's say if you wanted to check www.amazon.com/fashion. So can you do this with network load balancer? I'm so sorry, you cannot do path-based routing, or even you cannot. This is called path-based routing. Or even you cannot do host-based routing. Let's say fashion.amazon.com. This is called host-based routing. Even you can't do this with network load balancer. Network load balancer will not let you to do this, because there is no option for it. Fine. So whenever you want to do path-based routing, you have to go with application load balancers. Network load balancers are faster, generally used for your gaming applications and all. Fine, where you are not required to do any kind of path-based routing. Now, if I talk about gateway load balancer, you see a gateway load balancer when you need to deploy, manage fleet of third-party virtual appliances. This Palo Alto and all, these are all third-party. They are not AWS products. Fine, but you have a trust on Palo Alto. You request AWS to please provide us this kind of firewall. We are in habit of using this. Help us. No, so AWS has merged with so many things. Fine, okay. Now you also have a classic load balancer, which is a previous generation load balancer. Now it has some drawbacks. Fine. So now coming back to application load balancer, I'm going to create a load balancer. I'm going to give a load balancer name as SpringPeople PEOPLE load balancer, and I'm going to just give me 1 minute. And I'm going to give load balancer name, then where I wanted to keep my load balancers. Fine. So generally requested, or it is, you are allowed for multiple or high availability. You are allowed to choose more than one. Select at least 2 availability zone and 1 subnet per zone. So if you have availability zone and there are different subnets, or there are different subnets you have created, you have to select it. I am selecting 1A, 1B, where my servers are, and there only I wanted to keep my load balancer. So 2 nodes of load balancer will be created in that. Fine. Now security group. This is very important. So for my servers, I have taken Sapient security group. Now for this, so I'm going to create a new security group. So let me click on create new security group. I'm creating a new security group. I wanted to show you one beautiful thing, which you are going to learn it today very well. So I'm going to create a security group. So I'm creating a security group as SpringPeople security group, SPSG. So this is security, SECURIT, security of SpringPeople servers, SERVERS servers. Fine. Okay, what will be you are allowing for inbound rules? So I'm allowing, let's say, SSH. Let me do that from anywhere. And I'm also allowing HTTP, because you all are going to hit my server. So how? Via HTTP. So I'm allowing it from anywhere. Fine. Now Parul, there also you are choosing anywhere. Here also you are choosing. You wait for a best thing to understand. You are going to learn something beauty today. So just give me 1 minute. I'm going to teach you that. So let me click on create security group. So I created a security group. Let me go back to my load balancer and let me refresh it. So let me see. Now I'm removing this default security group. I'm going to select SPSG, SP. Yeah, this is what I've just created. I'm going to select this security group. Now, listeners, see, please understand, listener is a process that checks the connection request with the port and protocol. The rule that you define for a listener, Amazon.com/fashion should go to this server, should go to this target group. Amazon.com/toys should go to this. So whatever the rule you defined over here, request will be going here. But protocol, I'm using port 80. It's up to your application. Now, what is your target group? I'm proactive. I have already created my target group. Yeah, say SpringPeople target group. I'm selecting my target group. Now, the next thing is that don't do anything. Forget about this. If you know WAF and global accelerator, which are going to increase your performance, but since we are not aware, next time I'll definitely take these topics to explain you everything very clearly. But overall, what am I going to do? I'm going to create my load balancer. So I'm going to create a load balancer. Just simple. I'm going to create a load balancer. So what happened? I have got a proper DNS for my load balancer. SpringPeople load balancer AP South1 ELB Amazon.com. With this DNS, I'm going to access my server. So let me copy this and let me paste here. Let me paste here. And if I hit, the page is not reachable because it is provisioning. Because it is provisioning. So since it is provisioning, I wanted to share this with all of you. So I'm sharing you the link of my load balancer with all of you. Just allow me 1 minute. So I just wanted to share, but I'll be taking some time before I'll do that before it become active. So it is provisioning. So what I did overall, let's have a quick recap. What I did, what actually I tried my level best to explain you is that till it is creating. So what I did, my dear participant, first of all, I have created 2 demo servers for and included these demo server in a target group called SpringPeople target group. Now behind that, I've created one load balancer, especially I've created application load balancer. And here I have assigned this target group. Now, whenever a request is coming, so it will be handled by this load balancer, and this load balancer will distribute the request equally among these servers. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to see. Now you must be thinking, but Parul, I'm not agree with you. We never see such kind of SpringPeople ELB something like, but we have a domain like SpringPeople.com. We have a domain like Facebook.com. We don't have this ELB, and but how this? We are not getting this. Why? So see, I have just created a load balancer. My dear friends, I have just created a load balancer. So overall, what I'm trying to explain you, I have just created a load balancer. So now I'm getting a link of load balancer, a DNS of load balancer. Now this DNS I'm going to attach with Facebook, www.facebook.com. So you will hit facebook.com. It will hit this DNS of your load balancer, and then this load balancer will hit the request equally among the server. How you will do that? The topic is not included here, but yes, in AWS we have a service called Route 53. So in Route 53, you are going to create a alias, and in alias you are going to paste this load balancer link. So let me just check it once if it is working or not. I think it started working or not. Just let me check this. Yeah, see everybody, it has first hit my server B of availability zone 1B of Mumbai. Let me refresh it. Now it is hitting, hey, wow. So my load is distributing among 2 servers. That's great. So let me copy this and let me paste this with all of you. And you check it that are you able to hit this server or not? Everybody please hit this and let me know that are you able to hit this servers? Your load is balancing among the servers or not? You check this. Are you able to hit the servers? Is your load, is my link visible to all? Reha, Kaushik, are they all able to access my link, whatever I'm sharing in the chat box? Okay.
We are trying. Just a second.
Okay. So I want everybody to see the chats which I'm sharing with them. So if it is not, I'll be again sharing with them because I'm not able to see what their responses.
Yeah, even I'm not able to use the link actually.
Oh, so fine. So this is okay. No worries if they are not able to. Then please, I'll not be wasting any time. So this is SpringPeople load balancer which I have created, and this load balancer I'm using. And if you have any doubt that Parul, but we never use this. So what you do, my dear friend, is when you go to a service called Route 53, Route 53. So Route 53, there you define, there you paste this, no, whatever your load balancer is, you paste the DNS of that particular thing. So you go to a Route 53. So I have my hosted zone. So I have my own web application called vidyadigi.com. Fine. So I have already my vidyadigi.com. Fine. I have already attached so many, United States and this with my server. Now, if I wanted if somebody is hitting vidyadigi.com, I wanted that it should be going to a load balancer. So what I'll be doing, I'll be creating a record. I'll be creating a record and how they wanted to access path-based routing or I say host-based routing. So let's say if they are hitting something like courses.vidyadigi.com. So it should. So how it should go? So I'll be choosing courses, courses. host.vidyadigi.com. Fine. So okay, host based routing. Then in alias, I'll be choosing a traffic. What is traffic type? Traffic type is my load balancer application. So in which region my load balancer is? My load balancer is Mumbai. And now when you select, yeah, this is load balancer. Now you click on create record. So now what will happen? Whenever somebody will type vidyadigi.com or courses.vidyadigi.com, it will go to a target group. Simple, very, very simple. Not a rocket science. So nothing is like a rocket science. So do not get confused that Parul, we don't get such a big DNS. No, not at all. You need not to worry on that case. Fine. So be with me. You are going to understand everything very clearly. Coming back to the next I'm going to take Route 53 very well. So next, be there to understand Route 53 so that you understand all these concepts very clearly. Now going to the next topic called, so we covered load balancing, we covered creation of this application load balancer creation. We did that. Now we also talked on what is application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway load balancer, and classic load balancer. So we have already covered this. Now we are moving to auto scaling, especially EC2 auto scaling. Now what is auto scaling and why we need auto scaling? So coming back to the whiteboarding. Now give me 1 minute. Let me go to the whiteboarding. Now I wanted to do some whiteboarding for you. What is auto scaling? As the name says, auto. Auto means automatic. Scaling. Scaling means scale up or scale down when required. When required. Fine. Now I'm having so many cases with me. If you know the major big giants application, e-commerce application, Flipkart.com, Amazon.com, or let's say you are a local vendor, fine, or anything. If we talk about Flipkart.com, we have a big billion day sale. If I talk about Amazon, we have Amazon Prime Day sale, Amazon Prime Day scale. Now think a scenario that they are having a sale from, let's say, today's 9th, let's say they're having a sale from 12th of May till 15th of May. Now they have a sale. Fine. Now they have a sale from 12th of May to 15th of May. Now when they have a sale from 10th of May to 15th of May, they know that they'll be needing more servers, because when sale is there, traffic will be very huge, and in order to handle such traffic, they require more servers, more CPUs, RAMs to handle this traffic. Let's say during their ordinary day, one server is sufficient to handle the traffic, but from 12 to 15 they'll be requiring some servers. So how many servers they'll be requiring? Fine. So who will take this decision? Will we let AWS to take a decision? If AWS is taking a decision, let's say we made a profit of $12,000 during sale and AWS is giving us a bill of $14,000. So was that a sale of profit or a loss? Though that could be a sale of loss. So in that case, what we are going to do, we wanted to scale up and we wanted to scale down. We wanted to scale up when required. We wanted to scale down when required. So in that case, we wanted to go with auto scaling. So when we are going with auto scaling, let's say from 12th of May to 15th of May, we want some capacity to be increased. So in that case, we are going to put some value that max. So if I am putting max 10, so no matter what is the condition, the AWS is not going to increase the maximum capacity of 10. So 10 will be the fixed capacity. Fine. Now let's imagine all 10 server came in picture from 12 to 15. Now imagine a worst case scenario that on 15th, that is, let's say on 16th, traffic becomes 0%. So it will scale in also. Let's say then it will start discarding the server. It will start deleting, terminating a server. So it might delete all the server. Sale is over. Flipkart is not over. Amazon is not over. So if every server is deleted, so now what will happen if a traffic will come? So in order to avoid that, we have to put some minimum value. So minimum cap, let's say minimum 2, or let's say minimum 1. So 1, I have put a cap. Now my father is saying that, hey, Parul, I'm giving you 2 options. You can have 1 toffee, or you can have maximum 10 toffees or chocolates. How many you want now? What is your requirement? This is what minimum and this is what maximum. So then my choice is for desired. So there are 3 parameters which we have to set. So if I'm desiring 2, So my father is saying, Parul, minimum 1, maximum 10, how many you want now? You want to start with. So if I say desired 2, so the 2 toffees I'm taking, 2 chocolates I'm taking, so exactly 2 servers will come in a picture when you're putting a desired value 2. So this is one aspect. Now the second aspect. Yes. Now the second aspect is that, Parul, yes, I'm having one question in my mind. What is your question? Parul, I'm having a question that if servers are coming, then what type of server it will come? Whether it will be T2 micro, if you know T2 micro, then it's great, because I already told you that you should have a knowledge of you should have a knowledge of EC2s and all those things. So the T2 micro is nothing but a server type, which has 1 CPU and 1 GB RAM. It has 1 CPU and 1 GB RAM. So Parul, how AWS will come to know that what kind of server you want? You want server of 1 CPU, 1 GB, you want server of 10 CPU, 10 GB, or 10 CPU, 20 GB. What type of server will come in picture? Who will take that decision? Exactly. Now, so here I will define the value, and here also I will define the value. And how I will be defining, I'll be creating a launch template. So please make a note of it. Here I'll be creating a launch template. In launch template, I'll be specifying everything. What will be my server type? What will be the operating system of my server? Linux type, Windows type, Ubuntu type, what type of Mac type, what type of server, what will be the capacity, what will be the key pair, what will be the security group, in which VPC, everything I'll be defining here. Fine. AWS is not going to take any decision. Now, when you define this, then auto scaling will take place according to your things. Fine. And then there will be a different policies as well. But now let's understand some theory. So we have some slides. Let me show you some slides as well. So what is auto scaling? So with Amazon EC2, we are understanding EC2 auto scaling. You can build scaling plans that automate how groups of different EC2 responses respond to changes in demand. That is what I've told you. When changes coming in demand, so how you are going to respond? You can optimize availability, cost, and balance of both. Fine. So on specifying scaling policy, and Amazon EC2 scaling can launch or terminate instances. So if I need more server will come in picture. If I don't need that server will get terminated. So increasing and decreasing the capacity, it will be taken care by auto scaling. That is why it is called auto scaling. Scaling means scale up or scale down. Fine. That is what the auto scaling is. Now, as I already told you, you have to specify some value. So this is Parul minimum value. This is maximum value. What is the desired value? So you need to set that value. So minimum value, maximum value, and you have to set a desired value. And accordingly, it will scale out when needed. Fine. This is what I wanted to talk on. Then I have created some. Now we have some scaling policies. So before I talk of scaling policy, let's see what is launch template. So let's understand what is launch template. So let me show you one server which I've already created in Sydney, AS server. Now, what exactly the launch template is? So if you go and click on launch template, it is exactly same like the way you create your EC2 instance. You click on create launch template. You give a launch template name. Let's say you are creating a launch template for Flipkart. So you write it Flipkart, simple Flipkart, and which is the version? So version 1. Fine. Now coming back to the next options. So let me just put it here. Next option. So let me go up. What AMI? See what AMI you want, what type of server, Linux, Mac, Ubuntu. I'll go with Linux. Then if you are going with Linux, fine. Then what AMI? You have so many AMIs. Okay, so if you are going with Linux with this AMI, then what is your server type? See, you have to specify this. T2 Nano, 1 CPU, 0.5 GB memory. T2 Micro, 1 CPU, 1 GB memory. Fine. Like this, T2 Small, C5. What kind of server you want, Mr. Kundra? Fine. Then what key pair you want? Fine. Then what networking, which subnet, which security group, everything you have to specify, and simply you click on create launch template and your launch template will be created. Now you are going to use this launch template in your security group. Now security group, yeah, definitely, see the security group. So you go and click on auto scaling group. I'm so sorry. You go to auto scaling group. Now when you create auto scaling group, see, you give auto scaling group name, let's say Flipkart sale, Flipkart sale, fine, Flipkart or Amazon sale. See, it is asking for a launch template. So here you have to create a launch template before you go for auto scaling. So like the target group was prerequisite of load balancer. Exactly, launch template is a prerequisite for my auto scaling. Fine. So this is my launch prerequisite. Now there are different methods which you can do. I'm going to show you one different method. So let's start and understand this with a different method as well. So either you create a launch template, or what you can do, you can include existing server. So I have this server. Let me show you what this server is type. This server is of let me show you what this server is of type. This server is running in 173 VPC in this subnet. Okay, this server is having this AMI of Linux platform. Okay, now this server, I have not included any KPI. Let me show you the security group. So this server has a security group 80/443/22 open, whatever it will be like it. Now I have a one server with me. Now I'm going to either I create a launch template, or I include this server as a part of my auto scaling group. You can do this also. You can take this server as a standard server for your auto scaling. So if you have a server and you want to include that server as a part of your auto scaling, you can use that also. So you select a server, go to action, click on instance settings and attach to auto scaling group, and you give it a name. No, you give it a name. Let's say I give it a name as Flipkart sale auto scaling group. Simple. And let me click on attach. Boom. And my server is attached. My server is attached. My server is attached. And my server is attached with my auto scaling. Oh, just give me 1 minute. My server is attached with my auto scaling. If you don't trust me, you see this. Either you create launch template, or you can simply do it in a second. So just let me refresh it once again. And you can see this Flipkart sale auto scaling is created automatically. It is created. And let me show you this as well. If I show you this, you see the desired capacity is 1 because one server is running. Minimum I have set 0 and maximum 1. So I have not set anything. This is by default coming. I have not set anything on this. So before I do anything, let me show you 3 windows. So I am going to show you 3 separate windows. So let me type EC2 once again, so that I can show you all the 3 things in one go. In one go, I can show you everything. Just give me 1 minute. Yep. You see this, everybody. So you have an auto scaling server, a server which I have included that is in a part of auto scaling group. So this is my server. You see the server instance ID is 665. Fine. Now what I did, now you go, I went to auto scaling group and I attached this server. How to prove this, that this server is attached? Then go to activity section. No, you go to activity section. Here one activity is clearly saying that 665 server is attached. 665 server is attached. Wow, it's correct. Very good, correct. Now, but this is dangerous, Parul. Minimum capacity is 0 is dangerous. I said, wait, let me click on edit. And let me say desired is 1, minimum is 1, and let's say maximum is 4. Let's say maximum is 4. And let me update this. When I updated this, what happened? Now my desired is 1. One server is running. Minimum is 1. At any cost, one server should be there, and maximum is 4. And yes, if you see here, one of my server is running. Let me terminate the server. Let me terminate the instance. I'm terminating the instance. Parul, what you are doing? Parul, what you are doing? Dr. Saab, what you are doing? So let me see what you are doing. So what I am doing, first of all, I have created this server. I have attached to auto scaling group, and there I have set minimum value as 1, maximum value as 4, and desired value as 1. But you have deleted this. You have deleted the only server which you have attached, and it is shutting down. But your minimum value was 1. So this is the beauty of auto scaling. No, just wait for a few seconds. This is the beauty of auto. See, one server automatically came. Why? Why it automatically came? Because my minimum capacity was 1. Since minimum 1 was, 1 will be running at any time. But I don't think, is it for your auto scaling? You don't trust me? No. You go to activity section. No. First of all, see the server which is coming. The server which is coming is 154. So now you go to auto scaling activity section. You can see one launch server absolutely created for you. You can see this. You attach this server, then you terminated the same server. In response of that, 154 server came in picture, and you see 154 server came in picture. That's wow. That's a beauty of auto scaling. So let me give the name to this server as I should give this as server as Flipkart server. Flipkart server. So let me give it as Flipkart server. So I have given this Flipkart server. So in 3 window, I'm showing you. So Parul, can you show us the maximum capacity scenario? We wanted to see the maximum capacity scenario also. So if you wanted to see the maximum capacity scenario, then I have to teach you auto scaling policy. Are you interested in learning auto scaling policy? If you are, then see the beauty of auto scaling policy. So till now, what we have discussed, my dear friends. So till now, we have discussed what? We have discussed what is auto scaling. In that, we have discussed what is the meaning of minimum, what is the meaning of maximum, and what is the meaning of desired value. We have understood this. We have also understood launch template. So launch template is a template which you create and you attach with your auto scaling group. You can do this, or you can attach your existing server. You can attach your existing server. Fine. Okay. Now we have to understand auto scaling policy. Very important. Auto scaling policy. Auto scaling policy. So what are different auto scaling policies we have? So basically, like we have 4 load balancer, we have 3 auto scaling policy. We have dynamic scaling policy, DYNAMIC, dynamic scaling policy. We have scheduled scaling policy, and we have predictive scaling policy. Predictive scaling policy. Predictive, let me write it very clearly. Predictive scaling policy. Scaling policy. So we have that. Now let's understand schedule scaling policy. Flipkart, Amazon.com, they know very well. Even I know very well that on every Saturday and Sunday, my sale every Saturday and Sunday, starting from 9 a.m. Even I can specify the time, starting from 9 a.m. till Sunday 11 p.m. I have a huge traffic in my application. So for that, I'll go with schedule scaling policy. No, I will go with schedule scaling policy. I'll simply set that exactly at 9 a.m. until 11 p.m. you go with the desired capacity of 4 servers. So 4 server will come in picture at 9 p.m. and it will start taking your traffic. It will start taking your traffic, not a issue. It will start taking your traffic. Simple. Scheduled scaling, you specify the timing, you specify the desired value, server will come, and then you specify one more, that on Sunday after 11 p.m. that is on Sunday after 11 p.m. what you decrease my capacity, or let's say now desired is 1 only, so now 1 server will run a picture. Exactly whatever you wanted to set, you can set it. Now predictive prediction, you are here making machine to learn. That is, we are talking about machine learning algorithms. We are talking of machine learning. I want you to learn how traffic is coming, and accordingly you start increasing the servers. Because when traffic comes, fine. So let's talk about, if we are in India, you all are from India, or you are from any part of the world. In India, you know, India is very famous, famous for highest population in the world. And we have an application called irctc.com, irctc.com. And if I talk about irctc.com, then every day from 10 a.m. till 11 a.m., emergency ticket booking window is open. Now you know that very high traffic comes from 10 to 11. Now if a server is coming in picture, and if it is coming and taking some warm-up period time, and so let's say if server comes, it will take some time to take a traffic. And if it is taking that time, so what will, let's say it take 5 minutes, 300 seconds to warm up. Warm up means to ready to take a traffic. So what will happen for 300 seconds? What will say to the traffic that we are not ready? We are not ready for booking. We will not say this. We'll make machine to learn. And before traffic comes, if we know the pattern, automatically the things are ready to take the request. Fine. That is called predictive. Predictive means we are going to learn the pattern. The machine will learn the pattern based on previous sales, and accordingly it will make the arrangement or scale the things accordingly. Now dynamic scaling policy. Fluctuations may occur. Fine. Where we are not very sure. Fine. In that case, we are going to specify some threshold value. Threshold, THRESHOLD, threshold value. Threshold value, let's say in dynamic scaling policy, which I'm going to show you, we have a policy called target tracking policy. Target tracking policy. Tracking policy. Let's say if I have said that, let's say minimum is 1 and maximum is, let's say, 5. So if I'm saying that we have set maximum as 4, if I'm saying that whenever and one server is running, and I'm saying that whenever average CPU utilization of my server is going above 50%, fine. So what do? You increase one more capacity. So one more server will come in picture. Let's say average of both went above again 50%. So one more server will come in picture. Let's say average of one more server will come. Now 4 server came in picture, and this is the maximum it can attain. Now, if it goes below 50%, it will start deleting the capacity. That is what very simple target tracking policy is. So let me show you just a small demo of maximum capacity of all, if I can show you. So allow me 1 minute. Allow me 1 minute to show you this policies and all. So this is my Flipkart server, which is all a part of my auto scaling. First, this server was part of my auto scaling. Now you see this. You don't get confused with this, please, everybody. You don't get confused with this. Now, if I show you my auto scaling, now 154 server is also part of my auto scaling. Now, if you are really interested in checking what is the CPU utilization of your auto scaling, so what you can do, you can go to CloudWatch service. Here, I have already in a CloudWatch service. So let me go to a CloudWatch service. I wanted to show you everything. So you go to a CloudWatch service. Now in CloudWatch, how to remove this? Okay. Just give me in CloudWatch, everybody, you go to a dashboard. Fine. So you create your own dashboard. So let me create one dashboard for you guys. So I'm creating a dashboard. So let's say this dashboard is of let me click on create dashboard. I wanted to show you something. Let me discard the one which I'm using. Let me create a new dashboard called Flipkart dashboard. I'm creating a dashboard, and I'm going to show you the exact CPU utilization of my server. So I wanted to see my server via metric, via number. Let me click on next. What I wanted to monitor. So I wanted to monitor my EC2. What in EC2? Auto scaling or per instance? No, auto scaling. What in auto scaling? So you have Flipkart auto scaling. What in that? I wanted to see what is current CPU utilization of my auto scaling. So let me select this Flipkart auto scaling server, and let me click on create widget. It's only 0.17%. My God, only 0.17% is my auto scaling right now. Just 0.17%. It's just 0.17%. Now, what to do in that case? It's 0.17%. Now, what to do after this? So I wanted to increase the capacity, but it is only 0.17%. So before that, let's go here. And I am going to show you the policy. When you click on automatic scaling, so here you have a policy, dynamic scaling policy. See, predictive scaling policy, evaluation based on 2 days, 1 week, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, fine. And then you have a scheduled scaling policy. You have to specify start time, end time, and then simply you can click on create a scheduled action. We are going with dynamic scaling policy. I'm going to create a dynamic scaling policy. So here I'm using target tracking policies, and I'm going to see whenever my average CPU utilization is going above, let's say, only 15%. And I'm giving no warm-up period time for server to handle come into the traffic. And I'm making this policy for both scale in and scale out. If I check this, it will only work for scale in, scale out. Disable it will disable scale in. So I am just using it for scale out and scale in both. So I'm saying whenever the average CPU utilization of my server is going above 15%, kindly increase one capacity. And how much maximum it can increase? 15%. So let me click on create. So I'm creating a policy. So my policy is created. So simple, my policy is created. You can read the policy. Target tracking policy is created as required to maintain average CPU utilization of 15%. It will add or remove the capacity as required and 0 warm-up period time. I'm simply doing that. Simple, very simple. Now let me go and show you again the things. So if you see my CloudWatch, it's just running with 0.7. But Parul, it will only increase when it will come to 15%. It is only running with 0.77. How you are going to give that? So I'm going to give stress to my system. So how to give stress? So let me connect to my system, and I'm going to give stress to my system. Just wait for a minute. Let me click on connect. Let me click on connect. Now let me click on connect. Just give me 1 minute. Be there. you are going to understand something very beautiful. So I'm going to give stress to my system. So I have some stress commands with me. So I have some stress commands with me. Let me go and install the package. So I'm going to install a package yum install stress y. Just give me 1 minute so that I can give stress to my system. And only then its CPU utilization will go above. So nothing to do. So I have to just do this, and then just give me 1 more minute. We'll see the beauty of auto scaling. Let me paste this. Okay. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to install stress after this, because otherwise it was not having a package. So I'm going to install stress package. So let's do this. And yes, stress package is also installed. Now I'm going to give stress to my system. So I'm going to give a stress to my system for 400 seconds. That is for around 6 minutes. So I'm going to give a stress to my system. Let me paste this. So I've given stress to my system, and we'll see that when stress will come here, its CPU utilization will go up. And when its CPU utilization will go up, what will happen? Right now, I'm only having one server running. So what is my auto scaling? My auto scaling is saying that whenever it is going above 15%, it can go up to maximum 4 capacity. I'm going to prove you this. You are going to understand this actually when a stress comes. And if it is crossing 15%, it may increase up to 4 capacity. I'm going to show you that. But before that, before it comes, because it takes time, if I check this, right now there is no stress. It will take some time for a stress. Meanwhile, I'm asking one question, that Parul, you have created one load balancer. Yes. And with this load balancer, you were accessing a server. I said yes. With this load balancer link, I'm accessing a server. Absolutely correct. So it is distributing a load. But Parul, I'm having one question. But still, I'm able to access your server with this IP also. It should not be a case. When you already see, everybody try to understand. You must be thinking that when you have already included this load balancer, when you have already included this load balancer, when you have already included, and you said this should be a SPOC. Now, if it is a SPOC and you are accessing the servers from load balancer, then why with this IP I'm able to access the server? Why? It should not be. Why I'm doing this? Parul, I should not do this. So this means either you don't know how to teach, or tell me something what you want to. So see, everybody, if you want that your server should only be accessed from a load balancer, then what you do, you go to your servers. Everybody, what you do, you go to your servers, your demo server, you go to the security group of your demo server. So what is the security group of my demo server? If I talk about security group of my demo server 1, you see the name of security group is Sapient Security Group. You read this Sapient Security Group. Or if I see the security group of my demo server 2, the security group of my demo server 2 is also Sapient Security Group. So let me show you the security group. So see, so this is also Sapient Security. Now I'm going to make changes in the security group of my server. Now what Parul, what you are going to make? I'm going to say that, hey, so let me click on edit inbound rules. If you wanted to access my server from HTTP, I will not. Let me delete this. But Parul, then how you will access your server? Via HTTP. Then why you delete it? I said, just give me 1 minute. So you wanted to access my server via HTTP? Yes, but let me tell you, not from anywhere. If you wanted to access my server, then you can access my server from the security group of my load balancer security group. So yes, now I'm selecting this, and let me save the rules. Try again what I'm saying. This server, which server? The server demo server will now be accessed via security group of load balancer. So let me save the rules. And now let me refresh this. Now let me refresh this, and you see it's loading. You will not be able to access this server now within few minutes, and even not this server also. Let me show you this. So it is also loading, and you just see this. You will not be able to access the server. Why? Because this server will now not be accessed directly. If you wanted to access, see, I'm not able to access my server directly. Can I access my server from load balancer? Yes, perfect. You are accessing 1A, 1B perfectly. You are accessing. but not directly. So you are refraining anybody to access your server directly. Now coming back to the auto scaling, now let's see, has stress came? It's 69%. Wow, 69%. What was target tracking policy? The target tracking policy was that whenever CPU utilization is going above 15%, it should increase one capacity. But right now it's 69. Then what is the activities, Parul? Activity. Let me show you activity. And boom, boom, boom. See, if I refresh this, let's see. So it will take some time. And what will happen? Just you wait for some minute. After a few minutes, your server will come in picture. So we'll wait for some time and we'll see that your server will come in picture. So overall, auto scaling is overall what I wanted to teach you is that whenever you are, so whatever the kind of use case you have for schedule, you have for prediction, you have for dynamic, accordingly you are going to use your auto scaling. You can create a launch template and you can see this. You can see 3 more server came in picture, 3C B8 137. Let me show you here. See, only one server. Let me refresh it and you see this, boom. So now 3 more server came and one was already running. So maximum 4 capacity, we have reached maximum 4 capacity, because the capacity which we have set was maximum 4, and now we are running with maximum 4 capacity. This is what I wanted to explain you, minimum and maximum both. Fine. Yeah, simple. This is very simple, which I wanted to explain you in the manner here. Was all I wanted to discuss you with load balancing, auto scaling, their policy types, predictive scaling, dynamic scaling. I did auto scaling lab for you, both for minimum and both for maximum, both. Fine. Now any questions and answers? Over to you, Reha.
Okay, great. Thank you, Parul, for your invaluable insights on technology. I'm sure it was certainly a very informative session for all of you. If you guys are interested in learning more about various AWS, do check out our super discounted badges or virtual instructor LED trainings on our website springpeople.com. These VILT trainings are leveraged online from the comforts of your home and flexible as per your schedule and location. If you do not find any suitable batches, we'd be happy to discuss and schedule private batches for you. If you don't have time to join live online, then do try out our affordable self-paced courses. For more information, do write to us at training@springpeople.com or call on our number displayed on the current slide. Now we will open the forum to answer questions that we have received during this session. Over to you, Parul.
Okay, thank you, Reha. Thank you so much. So any question and answer, any questions? I'm ready to give answer of your questions, please. You can ask your questions if you have in your mind, anything you wanted to ask, you can ask.
Parul, you can go to the chat box. We can see some questions over there.
I'm not able to. I don't know what happened. I'm in the chat box only. I'm in the chat box only, yes.
Okay, you can go to the question box. Question.
Where, Reha? Can you read the question, please? I'm so sorry.
About the chat box, there is a question written.
I'm in that only. I can see chat and I can't see anything. I don't know what's going wrong today.
I saw a question. They are asking if you can explain IP diable for EC2 and use load balancing IP. And the ask is S.
Okay, can you repeat it once again? Can we?
Yes, so they're asking, can you explain IP diable for EC2 and use load balancing IP?
Load balancing IP?
Yes.
Okay. Here, when you are creating a load balancer, no, So whenever you are creating a load balancer, then you are going with different options. When you are going with load balancer, you are going with different options, which I told you before also. When you create a load balancer, or when you're creating a target group, so let's say when you're creating a load balancer or you're creating a target group, just give me 1 minute, anything, fine. So it's internet facing or internally among the servers, within inside the VPC, or it's a internet facing, so that's another option. Or if you are going with target groups, fine. When you are going with the target groups, then let's say you are creating a new target group. So you create a target group. Here you have other options which you can select. You can go with IP addressing, you can use your Lambda functions, fine. You can select any other application load balancer from one application load balancer to another load balancer, and accordingly you can select the things. Clear? Any other questions, please? Yeah, I can see now questions. Just give me 1 minute. I can see one question. Gateway load balancer. Somebody has typed gateway. If I'm just kidding. So your question is gateway and load balancer. Gateway load balancer, we already spoke on it. Gateway load balancer is generally for deep packet inspection. Fine. Now gateway load balancer work for your third-party virtual appliance, which I was just talking of. If you go to gateway load balancer, see this. Whenever you are creating a load balancer, if you're creating a load balancer, see you have four options actually. When you are going with gateway load balancer, now I told you AWS is a market leader in cloud, but is it actually a market leader in all the things? For virtualization, market leader, you can say market leader is VMware. For security, we have other market leaders. We have market leaders like Palo Alto. We have market leader Fortinet. We have market leader like Cisco. Fine. Now we wanted these kind of firewalls to filter the traffic before it accesses my application. So we want these third-party virtual appliances. We want these third-party virtual appliances to inspect my traffic before it reaches to my application. In that case, I want a service, and that service for me is, and there could be a multiple third-party virtual appliances. So choose a gateway load balancer when you want to deploy and manage a fleet of third-party virtual appliances. So what is third-party? Third-party is something which are third-party supported, services from AWS. Fine. This is what gateway load balancer is going to work for that. Fine. Any other questions, please? I can see only one question. Any other questions, if you have in your mind, please ask. I'll be happy to help you. I'll be happy to answer the questions. Can load balancer be used with single server with high traffic to avoid performance issues? Can load balancer be used with single server? See, I created one load balancer. I created load balancer with single server with high traffic to avoid performance issues. See, you can, but you will not get a high availability. If your single server goes down, fine. So what will happen? In that case, you are not going to get high availability. You can simply create one server, you create one target group, you attach that target group. See what you can do. You simply create one target group, you create put that server in that target group, you create load balancer, attach this target group. Now you, whatever the site you have, www, whatever the site you have, you can do that. But you cannot expect high availability in that case. So expecting high availability will not be a scenario in that case. Fine. Any other questions, please? If I'm able to read your questions, can let me see. Any other questions? If you have, I can see only one question now. But yes, you can use single server. You can use, no issues with that. But can your load balancer in a single availability zone? That is not possible. I'm telling you this. Anything other than this? Any questions? If I'm missing, Reha, can you help me with that? Any questions which I'm missing, Reha?
Someone is asking if there will be a recording available. So I just want to let everyone know that there will be a webinar recording, which will be sending out to every participants.
Over to you now, Maria. Yeah, from my side, it's over.
Sure. So I want to thank everyone. We appreciate you being here. We shall be sending out the webinar recording to all you participants soon. I request you to kindly provide feedback before signing off, which will help us improve the quality of our future events. Thanks again for joining us today. Signing off on behalf of Team Spring People. Hope to see you again for our next expert webinar.